I never thought I would have to move back into my mom's house. My boyfriend broke up with me, and out of nowhere, I was recently scrolling through Facebook. I found out he left me for a younger woman whom he'd gotten pregnant with twins. And to top it off, my job recently laid me off, and my car broke down. How was I ever going to get myself out of this one? I fell into a trance, daydreaming what my life could have been like if I had married someone rich and famous. I had no idea how long I had been daydreaming, but all I know is everything around me suddenly became still. Was I still daydreaming? I could hear someone coming up the stairs, and I wanted to scream very loudly, but nothing would come out of my mouth. As the footsteps became louder and louder, I found myself paralyzed with fear. What was I going to do? I couldn't move. Just as I called on every part of my body to respond to this thing, the footsteps grew closer and closer until finally I couldn't remain strong any longer. Tears streamed down my cheeks as I fought against gravity to release my bond to the bed. It didn't take long for him to appear, but when he did, he emerged from the darkness with such intensity that I found myself paralyzed with fear. I called out for help as loudly as I could. "Who are you?" I said. "What are you?" My words were becoming more slurred, and I was beginning to slip in and out of consciousness. Even though I couldn't open my eyes, I could feel him breathing into my face. At this point, I was staring him right in the eyes. How could any human have eyes so black as coal? With weary patience, I waited to see what would happen. And when I finally found the courage to look at the rest of him, there he was standing over me. I continued rubbing my eyes. Maybe I'm still dreaming. "Are you a ghost?" I asked. "Something like that, dear," he said. "You can call me Acala." What a strange name, I thought. I couldn't help but hear the sorrow seeping from your soul, and that I could be of some use. "You help me," I said, shrugging my shoulders. "What is one thing I could give you right now that would take all of your pain away?" I thought, this must be some sort of joke, right? Okay, I'll play along. I thought, how about $10 million? I definitely could use some money right now. I said, trying to contain my laughter. "Okay, no problem," said Acala. "Only on one condition." "Sure, anything, just give me the money," I said, feeling even more anxious. "In order to receive this money, you must sacrifice one thing," he said. "Okay, what's that?" "Love." "Love?" I said. That's right. After accepting this money, from this moment forward, anyone you fall in love with will die." "Well, everyone dies eventually, so can you be just a little more specific?" "No, I mean 3 days after coming to the realization you are in love with them, they will die." I thought to myself, well, I'm 34 now, and after what my trifling ex-boyfriend did to me, there's no way I could ever fall in love with anyone ever again. "Okay, deal," I said. "Check your account." I logged on to my Bank of America account, and just like that, the money was there. Oh my God, it worked. I looked around, but Acala was gone. No way, I thought. I immediately went on Amazon to make a purchase just to make sure it was real. Payment accepted. Oh my God, it freaking worked. Wait a minute. People are going to ask me where I got this money from. What will I tell them? I will tell my mom that I played the lottery. But I will lie about the amount. No way. She won't believe I won $10 million. The next few years were the most amazing of my life. I traveled all over Southeast Asia and Europe, which was something that I never thought I would get a chance to do. Spent the night in some of the most amazing hotels and also met incredible people. Do you know how awesome it is to wake up and not have to work a 9-to-5 job? I paid off my mom's house and also bought her a new one. I even paid my niece's way through college. The great thing about having money was that everyone was super nice to you. After my traveling excursion, I moved to New York City and met one of the most incredible men ever. His name was Sean Turner, and he was a motivational speaker. He was very respected in the community, and after attending several of his events, he inspired me to donate $1 million to a youth center for young girls. Listening to him speak made me feel so alive, and eventually I got enough courage to ask him on a date. That first date was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. We talked for hours, and from that moment on, our emotional connection grew even stronger. After about 1 year of dating, there was no doubt I was indeed falling for him. "Will you marry me?" Sean asked. "Yes, I will. Of course." And for the first time in my life, I felt so complete. "I'm sorry to tell you this, sweetie, but your fiancé has been in a terrible accident. Currently, he's in critical condition. We're only giving him 10% chance of living." How could this be? Why is this happening to me? I finally found happiness. And then I remembered that night when it came to me. No! I thought I had to reverse this curse. I no longer cared about the money. How could I get Acala to come back to me and reverse this curse? That night, I went to sleep and I tried to remember everything I did to get him to appear in the first place. I meditated, I daydreamed. Oh my God, it's no use. I finally found someone to love and now they're gone. I started crying. Immediately, my body became paralyzed again. I heard loud footsteps. There, my child. No need to cry. I don't want the money. Please take it. I'll do anything. I just want Sean back. Anything, said Acala. Anything. Anything, I said. Just tell me. Well, there is one thing you could do. What? Just tell me, please, I'll do anything, I said. If you pay back the money you spent, the curse will automatically reverse itself and you'll be able to love again. Here's where you send the money, he said, handing me a sheet of paper. Doesn't matter how long it takes as long as it's paid. The hospital called the next day saying Sean was in a coma, and there was still a small chance he could survive. I would do whatever it took to bring him back. I thought about taking out a loan to pay the money back, but where would I get a loan for a few $1,000,000? I hadn't worked in over 4 years, which left a huge gap on my resume. I would just have to roll my sleeves up and get it done. So I worked. I worked day and night to pay off the few $1,000,000. And after 6 months, the call finally came from the hospital, and they said they were pulling the plug on Sean. I was so heartbroken and depressed and promised myself I would work hard to free myself from this curse. Finally, after 50 years of working hard, I paid off all the money, and at age 84, I was lucky enough to find love again. His name was Simon. Our first year of dating, he made me so happy. And towards the end of the year, I finally opened myself up and I decided I was in love with him. "Will you marry me?" he asked. "Of course," I said, so happy that I got another chance to love at such an old age. 3 days later, I received a call from the hospital saying Simon died. But I paid off all my money. I thought the curse was over. I went to the hospital to look at Simon's face one more time, and while sitting by his bedside, I overheard the nurses saying how Simon had been struggling with a rare heart disease for years now, and they were surprised that he had lived for this long. His one and only wish before dying was to get married. So it wasn't the curse after all. Simon died on his own terms, and 3 days later, I died of a broken heart.